is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we are here with something completely different, something very new, and this is just for fun, man. This is probably going to be a shorter video. Actually, I have no idea. I don't really know what to expect with this, but I got an email, and I was sent this leak from Pro Football Focus, man, that they released this game simulator, and I guess it's in beta, so this isn't like officially out there now. And I don't know who all was sent this, but they sent it. They said like, hey, you've been selected. So I don't know if I'm like super special or if this is just like everybody's getting this. It's probably more of the second one, but I saw this and I was like, man, this is interesting. So I know in the past, way back, if you've been around for a while, we've done like weird simulators that predicted the season for the Lions win-loss record, and some of them were to the point where they had like no meaning behind them at all. It was just like randomly generating scores, and we did them just for fun. We had a good time just reacting to it, and we haven't done just like a normal reaction video in a while, so that's what this thing's gonna be. I'm gonna let PFF do its thing. It's gonna basically predict every game of the season. I don't know if we're going to get stats and all those things. I think we might. It looks like there's supposed to be stats and how players do and all of those things. So I don't know, because it's in beta, if it's going to be out now or maybe it's something that comes out later. But I was just like, man, let's just go for it. Let's have fun with this, seeing that this is something that's out there. Let me zoom in a little bit out this, but seeing that this is something that they apparently are creating. And look, I'm not able to click on just lineups or just player grades, so we're just going to have to simulate season. But I clicked on this when I first opened the link, and it starts to show you like results of games. Now, I stopped it because I'm like, wait a minute, I got to do this thing. And I don't know if the results are always going to be the same or if it's something that's going to have like changes. Obviously, with injuries and things like that, I'm sure like their technology will change and update during the season, but I don't know if it's going to be like the same results. I know the first time when I just clicked it, it had us beating the Kansas City Chiefs 26-23. So if that's the same result, maybe it's the exact same every time. If it's different, then I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here. So is it like there's like probabilities and it's like a percentage? So it's like we take all these into account. So odds are we're actually going to simulate them to win this game. But sometimes that means they could win or lose. It's kind of like just however the percentages fall. I don't know. I would assume it's more like that. But yeah, like I said, I can't adjust the lineups or player grades. Looks like something that will be in there in the future. Obviously, if you like PFF and you like their player grades, and you're probably going to like this because it's based on their player grades, I would assume. And if you don't, then maybe you would have some questions with it. I like what PFF does. Doesn't necessarily mean like I agree with like, oh, that grade, he's ranked there, but you know, they have a system for how they do things, and I like that. So we're just gonna do this. We're gonna have some fun with it. We're not gonna take this thing super seriously, but I've just got done watching some more Emmanuel Mosley. I'm planning for that to be one of my next videos, and it got me excited, man, because I'm like, man, Mosley's a baller. And when I saw this link, I was like, we got to do this. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Let's simulate this Lions season. Here we go. I'm interested. I'm kind of hoping there's different results when we do this. Hopefully this shows up on the screen. Okay, simulating the Lions season. Okay, different score, but we won. And that one we won really convincing. Hold up. It says start new. Okay, okay, we lost. Yeah, see, the first 3 games were the exact same in result. The scores are different. So maybe the results are always the same, but the scores are... Oh, they got us at 2 and 3. They got us losing to Carolina. Oh, no. Things are going downhill fast. We beat Kansas City. Oh, my... 5? We scored 5? Dog, if we lose 5-42, oh my goodness, things are going down. Okay, there we go. Now we got to get rolling here. See, I thought the beginning part of the schedule would be a little bit easier. Yeah, we struggling. Oh man. Okay, well, hey, if this is real, you should probably bet the under this year. Wow. Yeah, this would be disappointing. I mean, let's just be honest. This would be disappointing if we had 4 wins at this part of the season. Hey, we've win the last. Okay, we lost there. Oh, 14-47. Okay. We got to win our last 4 here. Maybe wild card, if we keep winning. Okay, we got to beat Minnesota again. And maybe that was 7. Grade C. What does that mean? It's an average season? Is that okay? Here we go. Here's the stats. Okay, I'm excited for this. Goff, 25 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Oh, no. Okay. That would be like every pass last year that could have been intercepted getting intercepted and just having like very bad luck. He had about the same passing yards and very high in passing attempts there. It might be similar to last year. Show all players, man. I want to see it. Let's go. What are we doing? All right, let's continue. Okay, wow, we got a lot. Receiving, Marvin Jones is a dog, I guess. 78 receptions, 5 touchdowns. St. Brown does his thing. Wow, Marvin Jones Jr. And I would assume that these guys are healthy. I don't think there's any injuries thrown into this. So, assuming they're healthy, they're saying Marvin can be more productive. Josh, that looks like a Josh Reynolds type of stat line. David Montgomery got involved. Where is my man Gibbs? 128 yards. Look, if Jahmyr Gibbs is healthy and he only has 11 receptions, we messed up. we messed up. Let me hop in here real quick. I'm assuming this is where adjusting the lineup comes into play, and if they do this during the season, maybe it's like a week-by-week matchup type of thing, but maybe that's why some of the players' stats are lower. Regardless, I'm still shocked by this. You know, I was actually watching us play the Jets, I don't remember what I was watching for, actually, but I was watching us play the Jets, Giants, excuse me, and some of the ways that we utilize Swift out of the backfield, some of the passes that we threw to him, lining him up in slot, jet motions, all those things, it got me more excited, because I'm like, man, this is exactly how we're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, we're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs in ways like this. And then you see our tight ends and all the over routes and stuff, and I'm like, this is Sam Laporta. I'm sorry. Sam Laporta didn't do a ton, though. I think he's a much better receiver than blocker, but he didn't do a lot here. Khalif, 14 receptions, okay. So, I mean, that could make sense, get if we're healthy. Derek Deese got one in there. We see you, Derek. Okay. Green, had a little bit of production. Dang, James Mitchell had 5 yards. Dog. Let's continue. Okay, let's look at some of these. Oh, my. Okay, that's combined. I was like, dang, David. Okay, that's combined. They're saying 507 yards for Gibbs. I don't think that's crazy. I could definitely see it being more. You think about DeAndre Swift's stat lines. I think he had more than that when Swift was. And Swift wasn't. So again, if this thing's saying that you're healthy, that feels low. I don't know if this is saying that you're healthy or not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like just not showing you and it's saying, hey, maybe you're not healthy and some points of the season, so they're just taking things out of there. But what is that? 507 on 97. I mean, that's 5 yards a carry. That could be realistic. I could see that's like, I think Swift averaged like 5.5 yards per carry last year, and he usually falls in a similar range in terms of yards, but a lot of that's because of time missed. Wait, hold up. Oh no, that's only 379 yards. Hold up. Oh wait, let me do the math on that because that's not as good. 379. So that's like what? Under 4 yards a carry. Under 4 yards a carry, and only the 100 added. I'm way off. Dang, Jahmyr Gibbs, that was not good. Now, David Montgomery was kind of a dog. He was kind of a dog. Basically 200 attempts to almost 1,000 yards rushing. That would be a really good statistical season. I think it would be nice to see more rushing yards, but again, you go to committee there. I'm not mad with that. I'm really happy with his stat line. I'm just disappointed what they have here with Jahmyr Gibbs. Come on, man. Like, look, I get if y'all don't love him like that at 12, but dang, y'all don't have to do him like that. Anyway, so I'm not really agreeing with that being the case. Craig Reynolds did some work. He did a little bit of work. We see you in there. I mean, that's not very good. That's like, I think that's like, no, I mean, that's not bad. It's like 4 a pop. Okay, we see you. Jared Goff. Dang, Jared Goff ran about 38 times. Okay, we see you, JG. St. Brown got a couple. That makes sense. And that's it. I guess, is that it? Oh, there's no defensive stats? Yeah, I guess there's not because if I do full, it's... So... There you go. Now let's look at the schedule. Beating KC. The first time, like I said, they had us winning this game by 3. So I don't know what it is. I saw someone say it's about the D-line. I don't know what it is why they have us beating Kansas City week 1. We know they're very good in September. We understand those things. Mahomes is great in September, but he's pretty much great all the time. This is going to be very difficult, of course. I do like it. I really like our chances in this one. Like I said, I really don't think there's a downside. You lose, okay, you just got to play competitive, but I do think we could upend this team. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of hype. So if you beat Kansas City and then it starts to go like this, that's going to be very disappointing. This is a very long losing streak. Seattle's going to be difficult. So I can understand that one. I think they have us very low on the score there. I know they improved a little bit defensively, especially when you look at the offseason. And last year, I mean, look, we put up a lot of points on them last year. So I'm expecting, that number's probably going to drop down a little bit, especially when you talk about, some of their additions they had. Witherspoon, a big part of that, probably. He probably had an interception, according to PFF. But okay, I can understand the loss. The score seems a little crazy there. Atlanta, that one makes sense. Atlanta could put up points. It wouldn't shock me if Atlanta put up some points. It's going to test our run defense, no question. Like last year, they had Pitts as a receiver. They have Drake London. Like, I like the bodies that they have. It's kind of just putting it together offensively for them, it feels like. And then on the defensive side of the ball, the defensive front actually looks pretty good. They have some vets in there. I don't know how deep they can go. Like, I was going through their depth chart. Grady Jarrett's over there, but it feels like they're kind of just having vets on the D-line. It's like, how deep are they beyond that? I'm not sure. But I like this team. I mean, this is a sneaky team because they're going to want to run the football. And I think our Lions run defense, we look at some of the numbers, it's much better statistically, especially stopping running backs. Second half of the season, the last 12 games, only 10 of those games, we gave up 100 yards rushing to running backs. The yards per carry was just over 4 yards a carry, I believe. And if you take out the Carolina game, it was under 4 yards, like 3.7. So I think we're much better there, but I could see this being higher scoring. I think Atlanta's going to be able to put up points. It just really comes down to what is Ritter going to look like because Mariota's solid. It's what's Ritter going to look like. And you have the Packers, us losing 14-24. Here's the thing. I keep going back with the Packers. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up being with this when the season's, around. I may be higher on the Packers than I am maybe now. I do know the Packers have a good roster. And it's kind of just like, what's it going to look like with Jordan Love? I get a feeling it's going to be the idea, the mindset is it's going to be less about Jordan Love's got to win the game, more about, hey, we're just a well-balanced team. And if we're being honest, they're a pretty good team. They have a solid O-line. They got 2 nice running backs back there. I like their weapons. You know, I was a big Christian Watson fan. They added 2 tight ends in the draft. Tucker Kraft, I like him. They also got Luke Musgrave, who didn't play a lot last season, but he's good as well. And then again, you go to the defensive side of the ball. They have a good defense, and they added Lucas Van Ness to what they have. So it's a good team. I would really like their secondary last season. They're not going to be easy to score on, especially on the road. So I understand why that's low according to PFF. But we getting up 24 to them. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm cool with you there. Carolina 10-17. I'm struggling with that one. They're a good roster. I like their roster. I like their interior linemen.
I think there's a lot of potential movable pieces here. I'm curious to see what happens with Terrace Marshall if he stays on the roster. I mean, if he doesn't, then you're going to see a lot of DJ Chark. We'll see. He's had to deal with some health issues, of course. They have Mingo over there, but with Bryce Young, Miles Sanders, that's a fun tandem to see what that looks like. It's kind of just where are they at this point in the season? You'd think they'd be in a pretty good place, but we'll see. And then defensively speaking, again, I like their defense really on all 3 levels. I feel like they have playmakers. J.C. Horn at quarterback, Jackson at the other cornerback. At safety. You like their safeties that they have as well. Some good players, like I said, on the interior. I like them on all 3 levels, but I don't love them. So to think that this would be the score, I think we could put up a lot more on them.
I'm struggling with the 10-17 a little bit with that one. That'd be a great revenge game, especially at home. Us only putting up 10 points in that game. I don't know about that one. That feels like one of those games that Jahmyr Gibbs might get off where PFF didn't have that in here. And maybe it's because they have Montgomery as a starter that he didn't. Tampa Bay, we're losing by 10 to Tampa Bay. That's kind of shocking a little bit. I mean, I get it's on the road. It's not going to be easy to go travel there. All the talk's going to be about the quarterback situation. They have 2 good receivers. We'll see. They've had to deal with health issues. And we're going to keep an eye on when it comes around to this time, if that's a team that it wouldn't shock me if there's a couple of names that if they're struggling, get moved off the team.
From a defensive standpoint, when you look at this roster, I really like their front 7. Greg Gaines next to Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey mixing in, the linebacker group that they have, if White stays, of course. I like Servassier Dennis as a backup, and they even brought back their big-time corner that hit free agency. But I do feel like, man, when I look at this game, I think we can put up some yards in terms of passing the football. We'll see what the weather's looking like, but it could be looking pretty good. Maybe some rain. I think we might put up some passing yards in this game. This feels like an old school potential. We drop 40 points. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling cocky in this one.
Maybe the Lions are in that market, maybe not. But it wouldn't shock me. Maybe not by week 6. Man, only 18 points? Okay. I mean, look, it looks like Devin White's going to stick around. This one, 5-42. Yo, it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to score 5. Dog, even if I gave you they score 40, which is crazy to me, we know they're explosive. There's probably a lot of excitement because they look at the receivers. They're like Lamar. I wouldn't have traded for Lamar. You guys know my thoughts on that.
Look, I respect John Harbaugh, especially on the road. It's going to be difficult, so I can understand the loss. I think I even threw him a loss here, but when you look at the roster, it feels like at every position, you're kind of like, ooh, that could be good, but who knows, right? Like the receiver position, when you look at the guys, Bateman coming back, is he going to be healthy? Odell, is he going to be healthy? You look at corner, for example, I like Marlon Humphrey, but then you also have Rock Ya-Sin. You like their safeties, you like their linebackers, but then you're like, okay, who's going to be healthy on this team? Who's going to be there? Unfortunately, they've had to deal with that, so it looks good now. But then this one feels like it's really going to be I don't know what this is going to look like. I guess we'll find out by this point in time in the season.
But 5 points? Come on, man. Come on. I mean, now this could be a tough stretch. I'm not against it. I think until the last part of the season, this could be a difficult stretch, these 3 games. Baltimore, Vegas, Chargers. The good thing is you have a bye week in between, which helps us out. This could be tough. Now, Vegas, I'm not a big believer that that's going to be great over there with Jimmy Garoppolo. You hear things about Devonta Adams. You hear about Renfro being traded. I think that could really fall apart. I'm just weird thoughts. I think that could fall apart over there. So I can understand it giving us 2 losses. Then they have us coming out of the bye and responding, so that's great. But, man, they got us getting swept by the Bears? No. We beat the Bears once. Okay. They got us getting swept by the Packers, though. I can't go, man. Come on, 22 and 14 combined points. You saying we're averaging was that 17.5, 18 points per game?
And I'm just looking at this. It feels like a lot of the rookies are kind of just less productive based on what PFF is saying here. And then you look at some of their grades. Some of it is, I think, really just based on alignment when we start to look at these stats. But then I look at this, Packers situation. That score seems to be just directly tied to what the scores were last year. They were both low scoring, 18 points per game. I think it was probably somewhere in that range. We scored 20 the second time we played them. And then the first time we played them, what was it, 15? So it's exactly based on last season, it feels like.
Against the Pack, I can't go with that. Saints Saints are going to be better, I think, this year. Derek Carr, they're going to be able to score. That one's probably going to be tough. I can see that being, like a one-score game. They kind of got it probably just out of reach at the end. We handle Chicago. Okay, makes sense. 14-47. Like, I would understand this more because, last time we played at Denver was bad. Completely different team then. They're a different team as well. They had Bridgewater playing. But I could understand this more if you put it on the road. But at home, 14 points. I'm struggling with the games you have us at home struggling to score. Like, that's, like, Chicago, 13 points to Chicago? Dog, how does that even, like, hold up. Yo, 13 versus Chicago at home. Carolina, 10 at home. I'm struggling. Denver. Now, look, Denver's got a very good deep, they got it over there, but 14? I mean, come on, man. Do you even know what are we doing? Okay, 14 to Seattle at home. Like, that's where I'm having issues here. We finished strong. I love that. Maybe if in that case, if the Lions came into the last 3 weeks with 4 wins, there would be a lot of chatter. There would absolutely be a lot of chatter. There'd be a lot of questions. So maybe this saves jobs that you go on this little stretch run at the end. But to be honest, 7 wins isn't getting you in the playoffs. It's very unlikely this is going to win the division. I mean, you're beating the Vikings twice, so maybe you beat the Vikings division. But based on this, the Packers are winning the division. I mean, I would think based on this, they got the Packers winning the division. So, woo! I mean, I understand the over-under. I think it's set at like 9.5 or something in that range. Some people feel like the Lions are going to be the under. They're not going to, hit necessarily. Look, my whole thing is just win the division. I don't care what the record is, just win the division. And I think we're better. I think we're better than our division teams, especially Green Bay. I mean, the fact that we won both times last year, the way that we won, they weren't the prettiest, but man, we got the job done. Like, to me, having us lose both the Packers is kind of shocking, considering Jordan Love is now taking over. I don't dislike the roster, though, so I get that. We split with the Bears. Okay, I could see that happening. Then we win both versus the Vikings. It just feels kind of weird, man. But 7-10, I would not be necessarily excited about that. That's what they got at this point. This thing will probably change real quick before we end this thing, because, again, this is beta. So, like, I'm not hating on it or nothing. I just thought this would be fun. Don't hate on them for this. I think it's just, for fun, man. I just kind of want to try it out. This thing's probably going to change a ton. But I want to do it one more time and just see if I get the same record. I just want to see. Okay, this time they got us losing. I just want to see, like, maybe we do it again. We changed, the percentages, and all of a sudden it flips. Oh, we are terrible this year. Wow. Okay, now hold up. We can recover. 0-3. Like, that's legit possible, but we can recover. They went right back to the 10-17. They really feel good about Carolina beating us. We start off 1-6. That's tough. See, I could see a struggle at the beginning, but I think the next, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, you can make up some ground there. I can see how on paper that could look difficult. I like us against Tampa Bay. Carolina's not going to be easy. I understand that. I like us against Atlanta too, but again, like I said, I know they can put up points. Okay, we're starting to win a little bit here. Maybe we get a little bit on a roll. Okay, they got a sweep in Chicago this time. Splitting with Green Bay. See, this makes sense. Denver. Okay, they got us beating Denver, and then losing to the Vikings. I bet they have us 4-2 in the division. We'll probably beat the Vikings the second time we play them. I'm assuming here. 7-10 again. So I guess maybe that's where they're kind of with this. Goff's interceptions went down. Did they? Oh, man, they didn't do Gibbs, man. I didn't even mean to click out of that. Anyway, we'll leave it there, man. This is just for fun. We haven't done one of these in a while, man. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about PFF? They do us dirty right here. They did us a little dirty. Let's be honest. Man. I mean, my way too early prediction, we'll get better once we get close to the season. I'm still breaking down the players, so it's kind of unfair to me to put a great record out there while I'm still breaking down players we brought in. Like I said, I was watching Mosley today. I'm pumped. I think that dude's going to be an animal. I was like, bro, I might need to get this dude's shirt. Y'all know I like the shirts with the last names. I have us early winning the division, double-digit wins. I'm not really worried about the wins, though. It's just win the division. 5-1 in the division again this year. You got to feel good about your chances to win the division when you go 5-1. If we can repeat that, I like our chances. We play the same schedule essentially that everybody else does, really outside of like one game. Then it's just where they align. I like how our schedule lines up based on when we get rest. That Chargers game is going to be huge. Having to go on the road to Tampa Bay, on the road to Baltimore, and then Raiders at home to get the bye week, I think is massive in there. I think there's a very good shot to bounce back. But those first 3 games are sneaky tough. But to think we're going to lose all 3, I just can't buy that. I just can't go with that. But even if we did, I do like that. I think there's a real opportunity to bounce back. And then those last 4 games for me, while PFF seemed to think that we do pretty well in those, the last 4 games to me are going to be crucial there. But either way, let me know your thoughts, comments below. Just for fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.